The new American Pope, Pope Leo, spent much of his life doing mission work in South America. Well, there's an upstate New York priest who understands that selfless calling all too well. He has dedicated his entire life to helping the sick and the poor all around the world. I recently caught up with this extraordinary missionary whose life defines compassion.
This is where I feel most at home, being one with all of creation.
It's in the stillness of nature where Father Mike Bassano feels closest to God.
Looking at the trees, the flowers, the landscape around me, this is God's cathedral out here.
Father Mike has always followed the path to create a life led by that spiritual voice, a life that is beyond extraordinary.
What are you doing for others? That phrase inspires me every day.
Father Mike recently celebrated 50 years as a Catholic priest, serving mostly as a traveling missionary with the Maryknoll Fathers and Brothers. He has spent decades living in some of the most dangerous regions of the world, helping the poorest of the poor in Africa, Asia, and South America.
I remember people in the camp who would always come up to me and embrace me and say, "We are glad that you are here." And that would fill me with tears and emotion.
Father Mike helps orphan children and abused women find food, safety, and shelter. He comforts those who are sick and dying of AIDS and leprosy. He is there for those who are tired and alone in their darkest hours of poverty. And he brings love and joy to thousands of children who are in desperate need of hope.
And I remember faces of the young children in the UN camp in South Sudan who were so loving with their smiles, despite what they were going through, a time of terrible civil war.
Born and raised a devout Catholic in Binghamton, as a child he knew he would become a priest and was excited to share the gospel. Once he graduated from St. Bernard Seminary in Rochester, he served in parishes across upstate New York, but felt called to do more.
I have always felt moved to go to places, probably some dangerous places, where people were most in need, that had no one. And that is the gift of Maryknoll. It's not about preaching or conversion. It's about an option for the poor to say, "We want to be with you."
Now 76, Father Mike has no plans of slowing down. As he prepares for another mission in South America, he has seen firsthand a divided world that is desperate for our help now more than ever.
We must care for one another as sisters and brothers on this earth. It doesn't matter what religion or what culture we are from. We are all united together in this call to be compassionate. And that's the gift of mission, to be present to people in their most dire moments of need and struggle and conflict, to let them know they are not alone.
Wow, Julie, what an amazing human being. I mean, I don't think they make them like that anymore.
Well, proof that there are people who are literal angels on earth.
Absolutely.
And doing God's work.
To be doing this kind of work, it has to be, and like you said, it's got to be a calling, like something that inside of you that just calls you to do something like this. What the work that he does, I don't know. I don't even, if I could even do it.
Thank God that we have people like that. Also, a spiritual biographer wrote a book about Father Mike Bassano. It's called Mr. Father. So you could just search that and it tells more about his story. A life of mission, just like our new Pope Leo. Yeah. He's a missionary, and that's what these missionaries do. It's not about preaching or conversion, as Father Mike pointed out in that story. It's about being there for the poorest of the poor who feel very alone and forgotten.
And full disclosure, you've been telling me about Father Mike for a very long time because you know him personally.
I do. I've known him my entire life, and always just a special person who has just an innate, deep feeling of compassion.
I know you've been telling about him, but now that I see the story, I'll tell you what, I'm even more impressed. What a human being.
I keep saying it. Thank God we have people like that. If you would like to know more about Maryknoll Fathers and Brothers and how to support their mission of being there for these people all around the world who desperately need our help, just go to maryknollsociety.org.